little lamb, but what did she have in her cupboard? She had comics covered. That's what she had.
She had it in her cupboard?
She had it in her cupboard. You know that book, The Indian and the Cupboard? This is like the Mary, the little lamb, and the comics cupboard.
Are we the tiny little action figures come to life in this scenario?
Yeah, we're the comics cupboard.
Oh, wow. Oh, no.
This is Comics Cupboard for the week of August 8th, 2018, episode 37. Yes, I did that whole thing for a little dumb pun.
Yeah, I don't know if I can conscientiously, abide that. If I could just allow that to have happened, so...
Well, be more like the dude than an abide. Here on Comics Cupboard, we talk about comic books and the world that is around them. The comics industry, movies, TV, games. We actually have... No, I'm just kidding. We don't. Hey, we could talk about a really exciting game that's coming out. That's Red Dead Redemption 2. They came out with a teaser trailer this week. Yeah. In fact, you know what? That's my week thing. I'm going to say that's what happened
All right,
this week.
We'll get back to that in a minute then.
We're getting back to that. We're going to circle back. But we're going to swear. We're going to talk spoilers. What is it? We'll worry about the spoilers. I'm Jack. I
thought you forgot your name for a second.
I know. I'm our resident comics veteran. No, I'm not.
What?
I'm just going along, reading way too much, and learning a lot all the time. And I'm here with my co-host Doug, who knows something I don't know.
Yep. I'm Doug. I'm Jack's comic book Sherpa. Because I really like that phrase because I just like saying the word Sherpa. In all honesty. It's a fun word. You know,
when I was a kid, when I said sure to people, I was like, okay, Sherpa. I did do that.
See, it's a great word. Very fun word.
Yeah.
So in our new tradition, our new trend.
That's good. That's good. I'll give you credit for trend. Now it's kind of a trend.
Now it's a trend. A correlation of some kind. What is it? I give Jack... I have given Jack
use of correlation, really.
No, it's not.
Mr. Vocab.
So I'm giving Jack an image of a either lesser known or weirder character in comic books, and he's going to take a look at it and he's going to make some guesses.
And he will share the image on social media like he did with the last week's episode. So that's good for you, Doug.
Yeah. Okay. Last week's was a little bit more of a gimme in terms of guessing. I just thought it was funny to. It's a funny image. And this week is going to be a little bit more hard to guess, I think. So
okay.
We'll see what you think.
The image. I'm clicking on the image right now. Let's see here. Okay. This is a comic?
Did you... Okay. This is a character from... This is a character from a comic book, yes.
Seriously?
From yes.
It looks like a children's animated TV show character.
Now, he's had various looks over the years, and I can give you... This is more of his classic look. I can give you more of a modern interpretation of this character, if you'd like. But this is... this is definitely a... Can you put an age on it, in terms of when you think this character might have come from?
I mean... Definitely... You said more classic look. It doesn't... this doesn't look like a drawing that was made in, Golden or Silver Age to me. It looks like...
I believe it was Golden. Let me double check that.
It looks too, filled in and shit to be a Golden Age comic book, kind of drawing. You know what I mean?
I mean, I don't know that this actual image is pulled directly from a comic, but this is the style in which they drew him.
Okay. Just the style looks different to me, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't tell me much about what time period. To me, this looks like it'd be on, a Cartoon Network TV show in the 90s, late 90s.
Yeah. This character debuted in 1943. So that
Dear
is
God. Okay, so
solidly in the Golden Age.
Okay, so I mean, I guess I can see this kind of thing being in like a sort of Mickey Mouse kind of.
Sure. Can you kind of just describe the general kind of view for anyone who doesn't have the image directly in front of them?
Yeah. We have just a green caterpillar with pink, things going down his body, eyes. He has glasses, and he has a little scowl on his face, and he has a radio as as
Yeah. He's got some little antennae.
Like,
just like a little green worm man.
I don't know what to do with this, Doug. I don't know where to go with this. This is
okay. Here's where I come in with the pointed questions.
Okay, pointed questions.
Okay. If this is a Golden Age character, and I will tell you this is from Superhero Comics.
Oh my god!
Which publisher do you think this is from? I will tell you it is a Big Two character.
Okay, thank you. Well, if it's Golden Age, that's pretty obvious, isn't it? You wouldn't give me like a random publisher from the Golden Age because they're out of business, right?
Or they've been absorbed into... In fact, this character technically not originally from the one I'm going to say is the answer to this, but currently owned by one of the Big Two. In fact, technically was not one of the Big Two, although they weren't really the Big Two back then.
Yes.
Although actually, I'll give you a bit of trivia after you guess this, but...
Well, I've read a lot of Super Gods, that beginning stuff. Like, I know what you're talking about, kind of, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. I'll say... Can you tell me... Okay, I'm gonna guess one thing. Is this character from space or not from space?
This character is from space.
It's Marvel.
It is from DC.
Damn it.
Technically, originally from a publisher called Fawcett. Or I'm sorry, was it Fawcett? Yes, Fawcett. Who was absorbed by DC at some point.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got him right. He is from the planet Venus. And
okay.
Do you have any kind of guess as to what?
Can I tell you what my reasoning was behind that? I was thinking, like, I feel like DC has weirder characters usually, like, that look weird, that are on the Earth. But I feel like Marvel, a lot of times, with their weirder looking characters, they'll be aliens. Like, kind of I don't know what I'm basing this off of, but I just feel like that's what happens all the time. Like, Marvel uses its cosmic sort of stuff to really get those weird characters in there. Mm-hmm. But DC, like, is more comfortable having super weird concept characters that are on Earth, like, always, or that are humans that are turned into these things.
I could see it. Sure.
Okay, so he's from Venus.
He's from Venus, the planet Venus. And can you guess maybe what his power is, or what he does? Like,
does being from Venus have any bearing on it? Because Venus is a very specific environment. It's basically a gaseous planet. Like, how does he live there?
I don't know. He's a worm. I don't know how worms live.
Okay. He's a worm. I assume he can dig underground really well. Like, is he just a regular worm in all respects, and he just has an added superpower?
Kinda.
Okay.
Yeah, fairly.
Okay, so, he can tune in to radio waves, I guess, and be able to, like, he's able to hypnotize people through the use of radio waves.
You're kind of on the right track there. Yeah, he has mind control powers.
Okay, good.
I'm trying to find out exactly why he has the radio around his neck.
You don't think it's because
I don't think that's how his powers work, as far as I understand it.
I don't know. If he's coming from the 40s, radio waves are like still MacGuffin kind of things. You know what I mean?
He has a trans-dimensional radio with which he could pick up broadcasts from more than one Earth.
Oh, interesting. Wait, that's a thing all the way from the 40s?
I think.
Damn.
Yeah, they're talking about like the Justice Society and stuff. So yeah, this sounds like a Golden Age thing. I don't know.
Well, shit.
Yeah.
So
here,
he's just a mind-controlling worm who can get radio waves from other dimensions.
Yes, his name is Mr. Mind.
Mr. Mind. Is he used like still in DC?
Here, let me give you a more modern look at this character.
Oh yeah, let's hear it. Oh, is it not going to look like a worm? Oh, good. No. Oh my god.
So, as you can probably, if you can deduce from the character in the foreground, who is the Atom here.
Atom, yeah.
Yeah, he's still very small. They are inside of someone.
This Atom looks different than a lot of the Atoms.
He's wearing like a helmet over his normal.
They're totally going
mask.
for the Ant-Man vibe here.
A little bit. This was from well before at least the movie. I mean, Ant-Man's better.
Well, yeah, but Ant-Man has been...
Yeah. I think this was just, I don't know. This was in a time when I think whenever they had him go super, super small, they would give him like some gear or whatever. But,
Oh, is Mr. Mind not like a regular size worm? He's like a super small worm, like a parasite?
I think it varies. I've seen ones where he's tiny enough to fit into someone's brain like this, or I've seen ones where he's like a small dog.
Oh my god.
But yeah, so Mr. Mind is a Shazam villain or Captain Marvel, depending on which name you want to go by, from the Golden Age.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, he is a mind-controlling worm from Venus.
That's amazing. Why wouldn't he be like an Atom villain? Has he become like an Atom villain at all since the more of the popularity of that character, or what?
I have no idea if they've had more encounters than this. I just know that this is one I came across in Jeff Johns' Justice Society run. Yeah, and
God. I really want to read something where it gets revealed that Mr. Mind is like behind it. That'd be so cool. Like I
will tell you, he is in something that I know you are going to read at some point. In a fairly major part. So I'm excited. Is he going to be
in Heroes in Crisis?
I have no idea what's in Heroes in Crisis.
That'd be really funny, except it's not really. That'd be a really big left turn, I think. Mm-hmm. Unless Mr. Mind is behind everybody having, like, enhanced PTSD and shit.
That could be great. I don't know. I just love when writers or artists bring back Golden Age characters or just ridiculous old characters who like no one takes seriously anymore and tries to reinvent them, whether they're successful or not. I just like love to see people like try that because it's always like the least expected thing. Yeah. So it's like, what the fuck? It's Egg Foo? You know, like some ridiculous character.
It's insane. I'm really excited for them to start like as I read more comics, for them to start, like, showing up in those big Where's Waldo, where everyone's Waldo pages. Yeah. Okay, very cool. So did you read anything specific with Mr. Mind in it already, or is this, like, a kind of a new character for you, too, or have you been aware of him before?
I mean, I found out about him in that Justice Society stuff that I was reading.
Oh, Jeff Johns, right?
Yeah, the Jeff Johns stuff. And went back and just, like, read up a little bit on what his deal was. He also, again, shows up in something else that I know you're going to read at some point that I also read. I don't want to spoil it for you. But,
oh, does he show up in 52?
I ain't telling you shit that happens at 52.
So much happens. By the way, I didn't tell you. So I'm reading, just to get this out of the way too, currently I'm reading Hillbilly Volume 1 because I finished my...
oh, nice. How are you liking that?
I just read 2 issues yesterday. It's great. It's just great. I love, like, it feels really special that the writer and the artist are the same person. Because, like...
He does everything.
Yeah.
In that
coloring,
series.
everything, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. it's really cool because it feels like everything is part of the same. Like I know that like writers and artists working together, it is part of the same vision still, but it just really feels like it's attuned to each other, you know?
Yep. Especially, his stuff feels very much of like a singular vision. Eric Powell's stuff, I mean.
Yeah.
Big fan. He's the guy who does all the Goon stuff, which I love.
I have to read it sometime. So before that I finished 5 Ghosts, which you really need to read. I sent you an image. You didn't answer back to me. Doesn't that look really cool?
It does look cool.
Like
is
a
that the one
style like thing?
Who does that? Is that Cullen?
It's like Mooneyham or something.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, it's something I've been curious about for a while, but I'll check it out sometime. I have an enormous pile of stuff I need to read.
I know, but
I've not touched any of them because I'm still trying to finish up Hickman's Fantastic Four, which I got a little bit more done of this week.
Oh, but, good job.
Anyways.
Okay, sorry. So I just have Hillbilly Volume 1, and then I'm reading East of West Volume 3, and then I'm going to launch myself directly into 52, both books.
Nice. At the same time, read the first issue of both of those trades, and
I hate you. That'd be oh my god, what if I did like a Memento thing where I started at the beginning of one and at the end of the other?
Yes, and then read forwards and backwards until you meet in the middle.
That would be the worst thing ever. Actually, wow. Okay, so yeah, that's my plan for now, so I'm really excited for that. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Mr. Mind, I'm really excited for him to show up in 52.
Yeah. No, he's not in there. I won't say it.
Okay.
Okay. So, how was your week, Jack?
Oh, it was good. What did we just say we were going to talk about?
Yeah, you just made an appointment for yourself to talk about something in here.
Red Dead Redemption. So yes. That trailer came out, and I am so goddamn pumped. That game, I just played that game in this last year or something, or like maybe at the end of 2017 right? For the first time. Because I didn't grow up playing video games all that much. I'm like going through these. I'm so glad I did because this shit looks so crazy. It looks like I don't know, Rockstar, like, I remember watching people play GTA 5 too. Rockstar is so good at making a world that lives and breathes, that feels like it is just real. And this one, they're just like going all up in the ass with that concept. So I'm really, really pumped out for it. I mean, what'd you think about it? Like, what'd you think of the gameplay mechanics? You haven't picked up Red Dead Redemption in a while, right?
I haven't played it in a long time. I love that game so much, the first one. This I don't think, like, the thing that's I think surprised me maybe the most about this gameplay reveal that they did was that it doesn't look like they're doing anything that's gonna like crazy revolutionize the gameplay or the world or anything. They're just like expanding the mechanics and the world in like these very natural ways.
Specifically
make it
natural.
Feel like a bigger, better version of that first game. Like whether it's actually better is yet to be seen, but like that's the intent anyway in terms of like the richness and fullness of the world.
I think in specifically natural ways, I like your use of the word, because it seems like they really build on environmental hazards and stuff like that, and differences of an environment that you walk through, like swamps, you walk through like blizzards.
Oh yeah, like the variety of environments and stuff in this game looks staggering. I'm so excited for some of the new environments they had in there. Like you had a little bit of variety in that first one. Like if you went north, it would be kind of wintry.
Yeah.
If you went south, you were in kind of a Mexico environment, but otherwise it was just kind of like, Western America.
Yeah.
This game's got, it's got mountains, it's got swamps that you're going to be trudging through, like all kinds of stuff. The city, it's a little bit more forward in time. So the cities are like the little pockets of cities are actually more modernized. So that's going to be super different from the like nature environments.
Yeah.
It looks cool.
So the one thing that I was worried about with the game is that when I was hearing all the rumblings about like, oh, you're part of this gang and whatever, I don't know. To me, it didn't seem like there was much of a directed plot, but it was more like how you're dealing with like the gang and like getting more like fame and stuff within the gang and with the gang. And I think it's like perfect for their open world, like to develop the open world with this kind of a story if it's not as directed. I don't know, but if it's not as directed, I feel like it's the perfect way to do it, because it's not necessarily about the plot, it seems like here. It's about like working within the world and all those things, you know?
Yeah, but also if the like relationship stuff is as dynamic as they're trying to sell it as, like like I'm excited for the day in which like that kind of dynamic storytelling in games becomes good enough that they don't necessarily have to write a like this is our specific story. Not that that is a thing I want to go away, but like I'm excited for that to be an option, that like more dynamic, personalized experiences become at least a part of the game's kind of landscape. Like people have been trying to push that for years now.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone's really quite gotten there, other than like the limited examples of like choice-based stuff in like
but in that
Telltale
way,
games
it's
or
more
whatever.
of a gimmick. It's not like it's a part. You want it more as part of the games as a whole, not a gimmick.
Like what the stuff that they showed that they teased in this was like the idea that like you could take on a mission and kill someone, and then like their relative would come to you and be upset that you killed their cousin or whatever, and then like that'll set off some chain of events, and like that kind of stuff. That's like less like we wrote this Western story and more like I'm like dynamically getting myself into these situations because of the choices I make with my actions, you know?
Yeah.
Let's see how many more times I can say the word dynamic or dynamic storytelling.
Just fill in the word prestige and you'll be okay. Okay, Doug, Portmanteau. How was your week, Doug? What'd you do?
My week was great. I've been rewatching the Mission Impossible movies with Leah. I don't remember if I brought this up last week or not, but that's my girlfriend. And she has not seen any of them, so she's watching them all for the first time.
What? Any of them?
No.
Like none of even the recent ones?
She's not. No. She hasn't. Yeah, she hasn't seen. I think she said when we watched the third one, she was like, I think I've seen bits of this. But I think that was really the only one she had any kind of connection to. But she's not not really a huge action movie person. Not that she's like opposed to them, but she just, I don't know, didn't go out of her way to watch them.
What is she kind of person? Like, what does she see in a theater?
I don't know. She'll see pretty much anything. Like she likes comedy stuff, or more kind of like, I don't know. She likes action adventure-y stuff that's less like guys with guns.
I got you. Okay, in any case, you've been watching the Mission Impossible movies. How was the second one, Doug?
Didn't watch it.
Good.
Skipped over it. I heard that there is surprisingly callback stuff to potentially a character even that returns in the new one.
Oh.
But so I figured we had to at least get a base for what happens in it. So we watched like here's this movie in 5 minutes.
Oh, good.
To just get the like condensed plot and characters.
Yeah.
But yeah, we skipped over that one. It's not really worth watching.
It's not like it's terrible.
Ridiculous.
It's just like it's
I don't
whatever.
know. There's a lot of there are 5 movies for us to watch, and that one is not. I don't know. I was just too excited to get to 3, and I love that 3. I wouldn't consider 2 in any way a classic or something really worth going back to. But in watching the recap thing, I was just remembering all the absurd sequences in that movie.
Yeah.
Like, there is a damn sequence, it's like the famous one from that movie, where Tom Cruise and the villain spy are on motorcycles, and they're driving directly at each other on this desert road, just straight away driving at each other, and they've both got 2 guns in both their hands, both of them.
Wait,
so there's 4 guns.
They don't have 2 guns in both hands.
Each of them has 2 guns, and they're holding them in both their left and right hand.
They don't have 2 guns for one hand, right?
No,
that's what you made it sound.
There are 4 guns total, 2 per person.
Okay,
and they're holding up both their hands with guns in them, and they're not holding their motorcycles, driving directly at each other, firing all 4 of these guns. And then they both leap off of the guns, tangle in midair, and start punching each other. And the motorcycles crash into each other and explode.
Some guy on coke said, "This would be such a cool shot."
Fucking John Woo said this.
Oh, God. John Woo. What did John Woo do?
I mean, a bunch of kung fu movies.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
Well, I mean, not a lot of American stuff.
That's where that, ridiculousness comes from, that kung fu background, probably. So, okay. Well, did you have any, added, I don't know, did you think about a movie in a different way after watching it? Do you have any different rankings or anything?
Yeah, actually, I don't know. I haven't, kind of settled on this yet, but I would have said Ghost Protocol is my favorite for the longest time since seeing that movie. Watching them again kind of in succession, which I don't think I've ever done. I forgot how much I really liked the third one, the J.J. Abrams one with Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Oh, yeah.
Also, how much less of a Mission Impossible movie the fourth one feels like.
Oh.
And more of a just, high espionage spy movie. Which I love.
Yeah.
But it doesn't, in watching them all together, it is kind of the weird odd one out in that it feels like a Brad Bird spy movie.
I mean, isn't Rogue Nation kind of that nature? I thought they just took a huge change of pace after the third one, with 4,
Rogue
5, and 6.
Rogue Nation kind of splits the difference a little bit. Okay. I haven't watched it yet, but that was kind of my memory of it. That one's next on our list. Especially in contrast to 3, which goes even harder in the, gritty, intense, boiler room tension kind of movie.
Yeah.
Also I just really, I really like I feel like I've come to the conclusion that I liked J.J. Abrams's earlier, more kind of restrained stuff than I do some of his big, giant budget, blockbuster stuff. This is still a big blockbuster, but it's just that little bit kind of more scrappy and small,
Mm-hmm.
And I think I like that more. And also, that movie is just fucking tense.
It really is.
3 is in a way that none of those other movies are, and I really, really liked it. It's probably the most affecting one, but I still love the fourth one. The fourth one is just fun as hell. Those movies could not be more different.
No, I've always liked 3 the best. There was just such a split between 3 and 4. There was such a long period of time that it's hard to remember that they're even part of the same series, I think, because they are so different, like you said. I don't know. Yeah. For some reason,
4 feels almost more like a Bond movie than it does a Mission Impossible movie.
That's why I feel like all of these last 3, they look and are marketed it more as Bond movies, whereas the first 3, maybe not I don't know about the second, whatever. The first and third one seem more like this is about a group of spies. And then they're like heist movies. They're we're getting the team together and we're the weird outsiders because they get disavowed in every single movie. I was telling Leah all the hallmarks of these movies, and it's they're gonna have masks. They're going to go rogue. You should have shown her.
They're going to say the word disavowed a lot.
You should have shown her one episode of the regular TV show.
The TV show. I don't think I've ever seen an episode of the TV show.
I think I've seen one
worth
episode.
Watching?
I mean, just for the history of it kind of thing.
Sure, if you're a fan of Mission Impossible to kind of get the context.
Yeah, and the reason they have all those, the credits, the spoiler credits at the beginning of each movie is because they did that at the beginning of each show.
Oh, with clips from the episode or from the movie?
The one you're about to see, which is.
I love that they're still they're the one franchise that still does a big opening credits sequence other than Bond. But
there's something special about it. It gets you really ingrained into what you're watching, and I totally feel that.
Especially for something like a spy movie. I don't know. There's something about that just really fits. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a reason that Bond is still doing it. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Okay. What do we got? Oh, Doug, we were going to talk about your drug habit, actually. One second. Last thing.
Oh, yeah.
Doug, we have to have an intervention. It's really bad for you. It really is. It's a drug that you get addicted to, and it makes you depend on it physically. If you don't have it, you literally are in pain like that day. So I really think you should stop drinking coffee. I don't drink coffee ever. You know that, right?
I just really enjoy coffee as like more of a ritual. And yes, like if you drink it every day, you start to kind of like crave it in the morning. But like, I don't know. It's
not a craving. If you don't have it, you'll get a headache.
Well, yes. Okay.
You'll have physical withdrawal.
I'm not above saying that, yes, it is a dependency. But like, I don't know. I just enjoy having my morning cup of hot coffee. But Jack was like confused. He asked me before the show how I take my coffee, and I told him black, and he was startled. I mean,
I don't hear a lot of people doing that. Like, that's weird.
It's the easiest way to do it. Like, it makes your life very much more convenient. One, you don't have to like fiddle with making your coffee just right in the morning or whatever. But two, like, I'm comfortable getting a cup of coffee anywhere I go because I am used to drinking it black and I want it that way. I can go to a hotel and drink the hotel lobby coffee and I'm cool with it. Whatever. I don't care. I just want the coffee. Like, if you like, I try to be as not picky about it as possible because then I'm happy with whatever coffee I get.
That's a really weird way of thinking about it, honestly. Because also for the reason,
I know that.
Also for the reason that every single place you're going to get coffee is probably going to have cream and sugar there, but not every place is necessarily going to make their coffee with like a coffee that you like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I try to be very unpicky about that.
But okay. Well, I feel like usually what people do is they can have coffee anywhere if they have cream and sugar because the coffee taste will be taken up by that. You know, it's not just that the coffee is giving you flavor, you know?
Nah, I like the convenience of it. I can just pour or pick up a cup of coffee and I can just drink it immediately.
But you don't actually like it, is the thing.
I do. I like the taste of coffee.
You like it more because you like the idea of being convenient to yourself.
Well, that's part of it, but also I don't know, I like the taste of coffee. I feel like it tastes watered down when I put stuff in it. I'll put some sugar in it occasionally, or I used to more. And like as a treat for myself sometimes because I always drink it black, I will buy like a Starbucks dumb sugary thing because that's the opposite of how I normally drink it. No, I'm not putting sugar in it as like, I'm gonna treat myself.
I know.
No, that's not what I mean.
You like getting this black coffee, you're like, should I do it? I'm gonna do it today. I'm gonna put one sugar in here.
No.
Okay, Doug. After we talk about your coffee habits, let's talk about news. Okay, well, we're gonna start rolling it out with some. We should start saying instead of TV news, streaming news, or news about your stream.
It's a TV show.
News about your stream, Doug. So
I don't like
for
that.
DC
I don't like you
Universe,
talking about my
stream. Doug's
at
new
all.
stream service. We have to talk about. Okay, here on Comics Cupboard, we like Doom Patrol. We really like it. Both of us do. Both of us Doom. So we're really excited about this live action series that DC Universe is putting out. Maybe
cautiously excited.
Yeah,
maybe.
We'll see. I hope they don't get on there and then Negative Man turns to the camera and says, "Fuck Robot Man."
Well, we'll get on the subject of Robot Man in a second here.
Yeah.
I have concerns, but
we have some casting decisions. Cyborg, one of those regular members of the Doom Patrol, was cast for the Doom Patrol show. So I guess he's there. Doug, tell me, has Cyborg ever been a member of Doom Patrol?
Cyborg is not really a member of Doom Patrol. Doom Patrol has always had kind of like connections to Teen Titans.
Because Beast Boy?
Through Beast Boy.
Yeah.
But like Cyborg has never been a member of the team. So if you look back at the original announcement of this show, they said Cyborg was going to be in it, but they specifically call out like the team as Robot Man, Negative Man, Elastigirl, Crazy Jane, led by Niles Calder.
Okay.
Then they say, picking up after the events of Titans, Doom Patrol will blah 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 be called into action by none other than Cyborg, who gives them a mission or whatever. I'm paraphrasing, obviously, but yeah. So I don't think he's going to be like a part of the team.
Okay.
And
like a sort of consultant way to tie it to their universe sort of thing?
Yeah, I guess, like, it makes it sound like that's supposed to be a tie-in to Titans, but Cyborg isn't on the Titans show as far as we know.
Oh yeah,
so
I forgot that he wasn't in the trailer at all, was he?
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be on that show, so I'm very curious, how that works. Or if they're trying to position him as, like, kind of roll him into part of the team on Doom Patrol. I feel like that's a lot of characters for the team.
Maybe he'll be like their, like he'll do all their hacking stuff. Because, like, okay, the one thing I was thinking was that, if they're on the team together, Cyborg and Robot Man kind of just aesthetically look the same. Like, they don't look the same, but they look like the same type of character. Which isn't good.
I had a slight concern for a minute when I saw this casting.
Yeah,
that they were going to use him instead of Robot Man.
Oh, but maybe instead it's more of he's going to be back at base helping them like coordinate technologically, because Robot Man doesn't do that. He's just kind of whatever. But Cyborg does have those extra cybernetic abilities, so maybe he'll just use those, and he won't be, like, there with the team. So aesthetically, it'll still look like there's just one character like that, which, I don't know, that was my main concern. Like, aesthetically, it just looks displeasing to have two characters look like the same thing, Yeah,
especially considering I'm very skeptical that they're gonna go full robot on Robot Man.
What could they do, though? How do you do Robot Man without Robot being a robot? That's, like, this whole thing.
Like, if I didn't know Cyborg was going to be in the show, I would have assumed it was going to be like a Cyborg look. Which is not the way I want it, but it's the way I would predict them to go.
Have they done that in comics at all?
Not really. He's always just a robot. He's that, like, copper-colored robot. But I'm very concerned that they're, in classic DC television way, they're going to just make him a dude. Just like a dude with human skin, or at least it looks like it. And then secretly he's a robot.
Like he's a robot under the skin, like he's gonna take damage and shit, and it's gonna clunk when they hit him.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, like, just looking at, like, how they're handling the stuff in that Titans show, like, how it appears that, like, Beast Boy and Starfire look, like, I'm just concerned that they're going to, for budgetary reasons, like, just make him look like a person, but they can, like, have him still do robot stuff. I don't know.
What if they just make him... Oh my god, I just had a terrible thought. What if they just make him into, like, their Luke Cage sort of character?
Meaning
he's just, like really hard skin, like bulletproof kind of thing, and he's just like, that's terrible.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, like, that's kind of his role, is just, like, he's fucking tough as hell. Like,
I know, but...
That's really all his power is.
But he's a robot.
I know, he needs to be a robot.
He has issues with being a robot and only a brain in this body.
That's, like, part of the entire point of the character, is that, like, he has this whole existential thing about, like, not only, like, is he unfeeling because he has, like, a robot body, but also, like, he doesn't look human, and he doesn't fit
disconnected in
that
way. Yeah.
Everyone can tell that he is, like, not fully human.
Well, I mean, a huge aspect of Doom Patrol in general is sort of that body horror aspect, and if they lose that with how they represent it, like, it's just gonna be, like, I'm not gonna watch the whole thing, because it's not Doom Patrol. It's not.
Yeah. Like, I don't, like... I've started to kind of, like, try to push myself to like not get really stuck into like this is the way the thing needs to be, but it doesn't seem like a good change to make. Like I don't think that adds anything to it. In fact, it kind of like takes away a lot of story potential and character potential to do that. Now, again, we're entirely speculating right now about what the show is going to do with him, and
based off of one,
based off they cast Cyborg, which is an entirely different character.
Yes,
but it just makes you Cyborg's involvement in the show just makes you kind of like wonder, how does he fit in? How are they going to make that work along with Robot Man? Or like, I assume that will be some sort of, those two characters will be some sort of like touch point for each other. You would assume. Like, maybe that's a way for them to get some, like, character development in.
Maybe?
For Robot Man. I don't know.
But Cyborg should have those issues, too. They should be dependent on each other, like, codependent kind of thing.
Yeah. Like, I'm saying, like, maybe it's a way for them to, like, compare and contrast their experiences in the show. But I don't know. I'm still very skeptical of this show because that Titans trailer looked like absolute doo-doo.
Hey. Fuck Doug.
Oh, Jesus.
Sorry.
Wow. Are you my sidekick?
Oh, that was bad. No, I did allude to that.
Oh, you're my sidekick.
No.
You're my Robin.
You know what, though? Since you're the Sherpa, I am kind of your Robin because I don't know as much. Right. You know what I mean? You're guiding me. So I'll take that.
How about we go with, let's make me less of the established Bruce Wayne Batman, and I'm like Dick Grayson Batman, and you're Damian Wayne.
Okay, so I can be a murderous psycho. Oh, yeah. Okay, that fits, actually. Okay, in any case, on other Doom Patrol news, on other maybe more exciting Doom Patrol news, a villain was announced as Mr. Nobody, of course, because he's the best.
So no casting on this. This is actually a bit of a leak. May or may not turn out to be true, but I think this site broke some other like casting announcements or stuff like that. And that turned out to be true. So it came from that hashtag show. But anyways, we got a CBR article here, which I specifically wanted to point to because of people struggling to describe what Mr. Nobody is in ways that make me concerned about how the show is going to approach it.
Yeah. I don't know how much of it is like them like not understanding what the people were saying, like what their leak said, or if it's just that they don't understand. I don't know. It's
okay. So if we just want to take the actual like original article here from that hashtag show at face value, they seem to know a little bit more about like the actual character from the comics.
Yeah.
But they still do have like a description of what they say the character will be like in the show, which says they're looking for an A-list actor, 30 to 50. It says he's seeking vengeance on the person he holds responsible for the failed experiment that caused his condition, which is like, that's not Mr. Nobody. Like, he's not a vengeance-fueled, like, experiment gone wrong. Like, I mean, he is a kind of experiment gone wrong, but that's not really part of the character motivation.
Yeah.
Which, in addition to his insanity, has left him stuck between two dimensions. However, I do like the angle that they say here, while the villain's absurd and twisted methodologies will put him into the path of the Doom Patrol, he'll come to admire the group despite a loathing for superheroes.
Well, that's good.
Because that is part of the character, is that, like, they slowly come to kind of a weird understanding.
Yeah.
Over the course. That's part of, like, the long-term arc of Grant Morrison's Doom Patrol, which seems to be a big inspiration for a lot.
They're both sort of a side of the same chaotic coin.
Yeah. Well, they're both, like, outsiders, like, that are, like, championing the weird, or at least in Morrison's run, the Doom Patrol come to be kind of champions of the weird.
You know what would be fantastic? If Andy Serkis was Mr. Nobody, and they had this cool, like, mocap, like, completely animated thing where he learned how to, like, emote as, like, this weird face, like, how he's drawn, you know what I mean?
Here's what I predict. We're going to get horror surrealist Joker.
Yeah, probably.
We're going to get, like, he's going to be a weird, glitchy, I'm between two dimensions, so I'm, like, freaking out visually.
Like
I'm
convert
a weird
ghosts
black.
from
I'm a
Ant-Man and the
weird.
Wasp
I'm a
with
weird
Joker.
glitchy. I'm a weird glitchy thing like Ghost, but I'm like a shadow, weird glitchy shadow, and I am creepy and insane like the Joker. Is what I'm predicting.
I can see that.
Which, like, sure. I don't know. Like, I'm cool with people doing an interpretation on it. It just seems like Mr. Nobody is such a specific, like, he's Dadaism. Like, he's absurd, like, he's absurdity. He's supposed to be goofy and funny and, like, yes, there is a sort of horror element to him, but, like, it's through the lens of that kind of surrealism and absurdity. And
he's
I
not
hope they just
torturing
don't.
people.
Yeah, I just hope they don't go too much in the horror direction for this, because that's the vibe I'm getting here.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well, we'll see. Time will tell. In other news, we have a cover of DC Nation. When you told me about this, Doug, I tried to look for like a video or something because you said the DC Death teaser, and I was like, "What?"
I just meant like it's a teaser image.
No, I know.
Like it's.
So why don't you tell me about this? So this is a cover from next week's issue of DC Nation or something.
It is releasing on September 5th. They just released the cover early, like magazines do sometimes. Especially since it's like a tease, like I said, for an upcoming thing. So this is coming out on September 5th. On the cover, it has a bunch of characters. We'll go through them in a second. And it says, in 21 days, one of these characters dies. So it's coming out on September 5th. 21 days from then is the 26th of September, which is the day that Heroes in Crisis comes out.
Oh.
The first issue. So the assumption everyone is making is that since the snippets of plot that we know about Heroes in Crisis, like the synopsis they've given,
the inciting incident is going to be the death of one of these guys.
Yes, is that the death of probably one of these characters.
Why would they do this?
What sets off that event?
I hate this
because they want people to buy the book.
This is my least favorite part about any entertainment thing. Like, oh, they're gonna die. Like, don't tell me they're gonna die. Fuck you.
I know.
Okay,
but
so
also fun little activity for us here.
Yeah, let me say who
do we
these
think
people
is going
are.
to die?
Let me say these people are.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and see if you can get all of them. I'm curious about a couple of these.
Okay, we got Booster Gold in the back, flying with the gold with the blue star and the gold shit.
Sure. Yep.
We got Green Lantern, which I think at this point is that Hal Jordan or is that?
This is not Hal Jordan. This is one of the other Green Lanterns. It's Kyle Rayner. He was the Green Lantern. He was the Green Lantern in the 90s.
He was the Green Lantern in Identity Crisis.
Yes, I think so. Yes. He was the Green Lantern while Hal Jordan was dead for a bit.
Yeah, and he was the Spectre apparently.
Yeah, he was a villain and he was possessed by Parallax, and then he was the Spectre to atone for that. And then he came back to life and was the main Green Lantern again for a long time. But this is Kyle Rayner, so he's the 90s Green Lantern.
Okay.
Basically.
Is he like ultra violent or anything like that? Or like pouty?
Not really.
He's
not
nice
particularly.
Okay.
I like Kyle Rayner a lot. Like his deal, because other than Hal Jordan, all the Green Lanterns kind of have like some sort of like kind of twist on them, like what they kind of do with the Green Lantern ring and why they're Green Lanterns.
Yeah.
He is he's an artist. So he's very much about he's very good at visualizing things and creating very elaborate constructs. And he'll make lots of like cartoon characters and like
that's cool.
Yeah, he's cool. I like Kyle Rayner a lot.
I love that.
But,
okay. So then we got Cyborg underneath Kyle Rayner. We got Robin. Yep. I guess I would assume that's Red Robin, right?
Yep. This is Tim Drake.
Tim Drake. Okay. Harley Quinn, and
Harley Quinn?
Shut up! I said Harley Quinn. Then Hawkeye. I'm just kidding.
I mean, yeah,
it's Hawkeye.
But
I'm just gonna say Hawkeye. I don't know who it is.
Yeah, this is. He's gone by a number of different names. I'm not entirely sure what he goes by right now, but it's Red Arrow or Arsenal or
Arsenal.
It's Roy Harper basically.
I think I know who Arsenal is.
You watched a little bit of Young Justice, didn't you?
I think I did. I did watch a little bit. I didn't like it all that much. I don't get it.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan, but he's in it. He's basically, he used to be Green Arrow's kid sidekick.
Oh, Green Arrow! I forgot. I didn't think about Green Arrow because he's not green, but I was trying to think of an Arrow character in DC. Oh, of course. Okay.
Yeah. So he is a character who, in a big turn for that character, he got addicted to drugs, and then in the
oh my god, he started drinking coffee.
Late 80s. I think it was actually like heroin.
Oh,
but this was like in the like there's a period of comics in like the late 80s, early 90s that was like considered to be like the social relevance period of comics, in which they were all trying to like tackle social issues. It's the same period that like Tony Stark dealt with the demon in a bottle story and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, he kind of turned dark at a certain point and isn't he's not always on good terms with Ollie Queen, the Green Arrow.
Okay.
Anyways.
Huh.
So
he's Hawkeye. Sorry. Okay, I'm guessing first. Tim Drake isn't gonna.
Okay,
what?
Okay, real quick. I want to frame this in the form of two questions.
Okay.
One, who do you think is going to die? Two,
who do you want?
Well, not necessarily want, but who would you prefer to die?
Want, Doug.
Well, if you could say, basically, the question is more if you could save 5 of these 6 characters, who would you be the most okay with dying?
Okay.
But also, yes, who do you want to die?
I'm okay. Okay. I don't know if they're going to go with the obvious, because obviously Hawkeye is the smallest character on this cover.
Hawkeye.
Right?
Sort of, I guess. Yeah.
He's the least well-known.
He's the least kind of forefronted in the image. So,
I mean, it makes me think that it's going to be that, but it also makes me think like that's just that he's just there so that everybody thinks like, okay, Tim Drake's not going to die. No, I actually think that Tim Drake's going to die.
God, that's. I also think it might be Tim Drake. Well, okay.
Or Harley Quinn, maybe, because I think they might be getting tired of having Harley Quinn only be good, because isn't she really good?
No way. Really? There's no way they'll kill Harley Quinn.
Why?
There are 2 characters on here that I cannot see them doing it as a company. It's Harley Quinn and Cyborg. They're not going to kill those characters.
Are you talking about a PC thing?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm talking about like their current they have like jumped up to be like 2 of the most like the biggest draws for readers and the most important in terms of a universe.
Yeah, I can see that
scale, at least in comparison to where they were before. Like, I think that like they've positioned Cyborg as an important member of the Justice League. Harley Quinn like has solo series now, and they sell very well.
Okay.
Okay. Like these other characters are all characters who like are usually parts of ensembles.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, like the universe would be less impacted. Okay. My first instinct was, and this is the one I would least want to die, but my first instinct was, God damn it, they're going to kill Tim Drake, aren't they?
Yeah.
But then I was like, okay, so this is Heroes in Crisis. What do we have very limited information about Heroes in Crisis. I pulled up the cover, the first issue. Now, covers can be misleading.
Yes.
And this is speculation. But just for the sake of an exercise here, I linked you to the cover to Heroes in Crisis.
No, I have it, yeah.
Okay. So, 5 of these characters are on the cover. Of these 6 characters.
Oh.
So we have the obvious ones in Booster Gold and Harley Quinn.
Booster Gold and Harley Quinn. Tim Drake is behind him, right? Or is that Dick Grayson?
No. We have Cyborg off to the side. Right behind Superman here, we have Damian Wayne.
Oh, yeah.
He's very small. He's got a slightly different costume. He's got, that's Damian Wayne. I believe so.
Yeah.
Then we have Nightwing behind him, so that's not Tim Drake. Because he's hugging Starfire.
That's right.
Because they have a history. Then it gets a little bit harder. So that's Booster Gold, Harley Quinn, Cyborg, If you look off to the right, just behind Flash, that's Roy Harper, I believe.
Okay, I see him. Yeah. I think so.
And then it gets real tough. But look up in the upper left-hand corner, just behind Hawkgirl.
Okay.
We have Alfred. And to his left, even further back, there is someone.
That looks like Tim Drake.
Someone with a short haircut and a domino mask. He's very tiny. Very, very tiny. But I believe that's Tim Drake.
Okay.
He's just big enough with enough tiny details that I think that's Tim Drake. Which leaves the only character not on this cover, as far as I can tell,
so wait,
Kyle Rayner.
The Green Lantern by Dick Grayson is not Kyle Rayner?
That's Hal Jordan.
Okay.
Kyle Rayner has black, more spiky hair.
Oh, okay. That's good to know. I mean, yeah, that sounds right. I mean, God, I love the look of because the people in the masks are like how they are in Sanctuary, like how they look. So that
I think they're helpers. I don't think they're people who have checked into Sanctuary, because a number of these characters, Wally West is checked into Sanctuary at the beginning of this story. I believe Roy Harper is also checked into Sanctuary, because they have said that in their books that they're going there.
Yeah, but the masks and the robes are what they wear in Sanctuary.
I don't think so.
Yes, that's why he's holding a bloody one. That's the person that died.
Maybe. I guess that would make sense.
Yes, no, I'm positive of this. That's what they do because they don't want it to distract from their healing.
Okay. But yeah, I think that's the case. Which would explain why we have a more featured Wally West on this cover than Barry Allen, who's a little bit further back.
Yeah.
Which is a weird positioning, considering Barry is the main Flash, although Wally is going to be, I think, a bigger part of this story.
I think he's going to have more issues.
He does have more issues.
Yeah.
But because they, along with the Trinity in the front here, were a part of the turn of the 2000s era Justice League by Grant Morrison.
Yeah.
It was Wally and it was Kyle Rayner as the Flash and Green Lantern.
How's that run? I would love to read that.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Is it a long one?
It's not crazy long, no.
Okay. I have a question. Does Martian Manhunter look weird to you in this? Does he look extra brutish in his face?
He looks very bulky and grim. But that seems to be a stylistic choice. I don't think that his costume or anything here is particularly out of character.
Okay,
it's just a style choice.
So, Doug, can I tell you what I would love for this story? Where I'd love for it to go? Just a quick thing.
Sure.
Okay, so you know how they have these masks, right? And everyone's wearing them there. What I want to happen is I want them to go through, and I want someone to be affecting. Basically, what I want to happen is I want Psycho Pirate to be in this story, and I want him to be in his regular mask, which kind of looks like this, and I want him to use his powers to sort of affect what people's progress in their therapy.
Oh.
And I want it to
Psycho Pirate would definitely be a good fit for a story about people trying to deal with their emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he needs to be a part of Crises more.
He is also a staple of Crises as well. Yeah. For sure.
So, yeah, I don't know. What I see this as is I see it as kind of even a mystery, murder mystery, yes, but kind of like a slasher sort of thing where everyone has a mask and you have to figure out which person behind the mask is doing it. You know what I mean? There's a scene in Scream where everybody's running around with that Scream mask and you have to figure out which one is the actual killer. Sure. And I just really like that idea. I think it's really, really cool to see that everybody could have evil intentions here. I don't know.
So we both gave, you gave who you said you think it's going to be Tim Drake.
Yeah, that's right.
Which one did you want to die?
I don't have, okay.
Who do you care the least about? I know you don't know all these characters.
I know.
Would it be Roy Harper?
I mean, yeah, I don't care about Hawkeye.
Is that who you would pick then?
I guess so. Yeah, because I like
don't know that character.
Booster Gold. I like. I think I want more Kyle Rayner because he seems interesting. Cyborg's interesting because of his dichotomy of man and whatever. Harley Quinn is interesting because she's a smart person who's insane. There aren't enough really intelligent people who are insane. Or, yeah, never mind. That's actually every single supervillain, isn't it? I mean, like, psychotic when I say insane. Not like Lex Luthor insane. Like, I mean, like, psychotic, you know?
Yeah. I mean, like, it's definitely an angle that I think they're specifically trying to push a little bit more with Heroes in Crisis. It's, like, her as, like, a doctor, as, like, a psychiatrist would probably be an angle in here, I'm guessing. But yeah, I can't think of anyone else who, like, I don't want Hawkeye to die, but, like... that's what I was trying to frame it differently. But, like, yeah, the one you you would have the least issue with dying, I'm guessing would be him because you have no idea who he is.
Yeah. Go ahead, Doug. What about you?
He would probably also be my pick for who I would least care if he died. I don't know. I don't really care for him or his shtick. Like, he's
Hawkeye.
He's an angry, gritty character left over from the 90s. And I don't know. I don't really care.
So you want Tim Drake to die? Got it.
No. The one I least want to die is Tim Drake. Don't you take Tim Drake is my favorite Robin. Don't you take Tim Drake from me?
I know. I think he's going to, because also, like, I know I'm probably biased because I just read Identity Crisis, but to have him lose his dad in that crisis and then for him to die in this one, I just think it would be, like, thematically... I
think too many Robins have been, like, I mean, I just, like, we did the dead Robin thing already. Like, I don't want... So. And, like, there's just so much potential lost there in terms of Tim Drake that, like, has yet to be explored. I think Kyle Rayner is the choice that probably makes the most sense. I think he's the most expendable in terms of, like, their current publishing line.
Okay.
Booster Gold, they've been trying to prop up as a more important part of the universe for a little bit now.
Yeah.
He had a big arc in Batman recently.
Oh.
Like, Roy Harper is someone who, like, they're always trying to put in books. Harley Quinn's a big thing. Cyborg's a big thing. Tim Drake is a big thing in the Batman world.
Yeah.
And Kyle Rayner is a Green Lantern. You know?
One of three,
like,
right?
He doesn't...
Or more, actually. Sorry.
There's a bunch of Earth Green Lanterns. But, like, he's a character who, like, he doesn't have necessarily all that big of a world around him that we couldn't get from any of the other Green Lanterns.
Yeah. Wait, can you tell me... Because right now on Earth, there is Jon Stewart, Hal Jordan, and Jessica Cruz, and...
Simon Baz.
More? Kyle Rayner, I guess?
There's Guy Gardner. He has short red hair, and he's an asshole.
Okay.
He wears a vest.
Are they all different quadrants of space, or are they all on Earth?
They're all on Earth.
But why? Because I thought the whole thing was like, oh, this person is the Green Lantern for this quadrant. This one's for this quadrant. I know
they were all at various points appointed the sole protector of the quadrant of Earth, and then the other people come back. I don't know. It doesn't really make sense.
Okay.
I think, I'm not entirely sure. I could be wrong on that. Maybe they technically protect other sectors or something right now.
I know Jon Stewart said in Justice League that he was, like, currently in a different sector or placed in a different sector.
Maybe that's the case then. I'm not super tuned into the current Green Lantern books right now. I fell off a little while ago, but...
Yeah. And maybe, like, humans, like, have a stronger will in general, so maybe they're more likely to be Green Lanterns? I don't know.
Also, I don't know, a ton of, like, ridiculous alien shit always ends up happening on Earth,
yeah.
So...
Okay, whatevs.
I don't know.
Okay. Okay, so Doug wants Tim Drake to die. I don't know why you're such a monster. But, let's move on. Should we move on into comics? Weekly comics, yeah. Doug?
Let's do it.
Okay, so we read comics this week. Just like every week. Except I'm doing pretty well these days. I am going around 6 to 8 books, I think, in the last few weeks. So that's pretty nice. We both read a few books, which is fun. Doug looks like he read a lot. We both read Eternity Girl number 6, which was the end of that. Hawkman number 3, Death or Glory number 4, Fantastic Four number 1 by Dan Slott, Superman number 2, and Doug, what'd you read alone?
I also read Amazing Spider-Man number 3, Detective Comics number 986, The Flash number 52, and you also read Hawkman. Why is that in here?
What's Amazing Spider-Man? Are you continuing that? I thought you were like iffy on that.
No, I really liked that first issue. I was surprised how much I liked it, because I'm not usually a giant fan of Nick Spencer's stuff.
Yeah.
But I really like his style for Spider-Man. We can come back to that in a bit if we have time. But
Sure.
Okay. And what else did you read?
You're right. I read a couple alone as well. I read Quicksilver number 4, which is the second to last thing of that, and Farmhand number 2.
That Quicksilver thing is a spin-off from No Surrender, right? Like No Surrender is in the title, isn't it?
It is. Okay. Do you remember when Quicksilver, he was trying to catch that thing that was keeping everybody frozen in place?
Yep.
He caught it, and this is what happened.
Oh, did he like disappear or something? I don't remember.
He's like, okay, they're going with like, he's stuck between moments, and it's actually really cool, and it's kind of coming in, like, they're using it as a way to kind of have Quicksilver deal with his shit, because apparently he's been kind of a stagnant character forever, and he's been like sort of just moody and mad at everybody all the time. So this book is kind of about like him, all he has is himself in this moment that he's stuck in, and everyone's frozen and everything, but there are like these differently colored versions of him that are trying to hurt people that he loves when he comes upon them. So he like tries to beat them up and like get them away and everything like that. But it's basically a way to show that his anger, his whatever, is hurting people around him, and he has to find a way to be more zen, basically, and be more like, I don't need to let this rule my life, sort of thing.
That's cool. That's a cool kind of development for the character, I think.
Yeah. And I really like how it's drawn in a very weird way, and it can have some really cool moments. Okay.
Cool. Well,
oh, sorry.
Now that we talk specifically about the book, let's do our spoiler warning.
Yeah. Spoilers. Sorry. I mean, you kind of get the idea right when you're, I don't know, whatever. Doug, since you just ordered your comics in the right order, what was your cover of the week?
Okay. So, my favorite cover this week is one that is very funny and yet very unsettling.
Yes.
In a different way than the really gross one from a couple weeks. From Eternity Girl, number 6. This series has had some great covers.
Yeah.
I have often enjoyed the covers more than I've enjoyed the issue inside.
Yeah.
But we could talk about that more in a minute. So this issue, the cover is basically kind of the ensemble cast, a bunch of the different characters. We've got Eternity Girl. We've got, do you remember what the name of the guy in green is?
It's something Lad, isn't it? It's, Gravity? No. Gravity Lad is something else, isn't it?
I don't remember what this guy's name is. Anyways,
Quantum Age. That was Quantum Age. I don't remember what this guy's name is.
I don't know. I'll try to look it up. But so it's all these characters. We've got Madame Adam, the villain. We've got her friend, whose name I've also forgotten. Her psychiatrist friend, and her old boss. They're all on a couch and they're all kind of cuddling. And I thought this was a reference.
I think it's
when
Friends,
I first saw
isn't
this.
it?
Yeah, I linked you to an image that is literally this. If you click on my entry for this on
this is Friends. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah,
it is a very specific memorable image, like promo image from Friends. It is the cast of Friends cuddling on a couch, and they are 1-to-1 matching this on this cover, their positions and how they're cuddling. Now, only no one has any eyes, except for Eternity Girl, and that's spooky.
Really spooky.
But this, it's this weird mix of like this weird kind of half-remembered thing that is really funny when you realize it, but then also it made it really weird and creepy. And it's just very surreal seeing a superhero cover reference something like that. Also, just so this cover is by Sonny Liu, and it's kind of a more painted version of his normal style, but still kind of feels like his character drawings and stuff. There's some fantastic color work on this, very very rainbowish, but with a kind of almost pastel feel. It just is very striking. It doesn't look like a normal superhero cover at all. I love the goofy reference to Friends.
Well, I think even from a thematic standpoint, I love this cover because it kind of gives you the idea, like, you know, in the cast of Friends, those characters change so much throughout. Or maybe, okay, sorry, I'm gonna tailor this a little bit. I think what this is trying to like be is like this whole book could be, all this cast of characters could be reimagined in some way as the cast of Friends, and they could be doing that sitcom and everything, and no one would be able to see it except for Eternity Girl.
I think it's also just like the idea of like they make a point of like that this is being done for the story, basically. You know, like this is almost like a form of, it's similar to kind of the recent Doom Patrol or Milk Wars kind of arc where it was kind of more revealed that like this is all being done for these weird beings' entertainment. Yeah. The guy with the afro. I don't know anybody's name in this book. He's like a lord of order, and he talks about how like they are like controlling the universe and the story potential of this universe. He talked about it as a universal drama and like all of that kind of stuff. So like it's this idea that it's all being, these people being put through the ringer like this for entertainment. And like the idea of like the dark shit that's happening in this book, at least to the main character, is like almost like this silly sitcom, you know, and it's kind of petty in that way, but just like very subtly unsettling, the fact that everyone has no eyes. Oh, well, except for Eternity Girl.
Yeah. No, definitely. I agree. I really like this. It's I was just thinking it'd be great if they had like a little in the background of one of the things in Heroes in Crisis if Eternity Girl was there like going insane.
What do you mean?
Like in the background of a Heroes in Crisis panel, if like Eternity Girl was in a room like going like just psychotic or nuts or something, you know what I mean?
That would be a very apt reference to make.
Because they are theoretically the same universe, right? Well, I guess with this one, I don't really know because they're. Yeah, never mind. I don't really know with this one. There might be a version of Eternity Girl there, though.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Okay. Yeah, I agree with your sentiment.
Mm-hmm. Sure. What was your favorite cover this week?
What was my favorite cover this week? It was Farmhand #2.
Oh yeah.
You're not reading. Did you click on it?
I did. I meant to pick this. I meant to pick this in the first issue up this week, but my store didn't have the first issue, and so I'm gonna wait. Try to get a copy of the first issue or something, or buy it digitally or something. So I can read it.
Your store is lame.
They sold out.
No, I know.
Maybe I'll ask if they can order me a new one. But yeah,
I think this is great. I love it. It's I just on top of it being a striking image and really weird. It's just to describe to people, even though you'll probably post this on whatever. It's one of our main characters, the son of this farmer who grows organs, on the ground, and he's like drawn as a tree, and someone has a chainsaw, and it looks like they just chopped him down with blood coming out of his, tree trunk body and stuff. So yeah, it's just a striking image in general, and also it's thematically relevant to everything else because the character is sort of being cut from his roots with his father,
Sure.
in a way.
But this is not a literal thing that happens in the issue.
It is not
more of
a
metaphorical thing. Yeah.
It is not a literal thing. I mean, it's more of a thematic, metaphorical thing. And I just really like it as an image. I love Rob Guillory's art in general. I was just reading, what was I reading with him?
Chew.
No. Well, yes, I read Chew, and I just got the 4th volume of that. I have to read the 3rd volume of that after. Okay. No, I just, in Five Ghosts, it was, I think. What was it, Five Ghosts? It was something, and I saw that Rob Guillory they added a variant cover in with the trade, and Rob Guillory did that cover, and it was like, oh, that's cool. I love that. It's such a great art. I like for him, it's just this great balance of cartoony, but like not cartoony enough to where everything's a joke or looks like a joke. Like you can still have really striking, dramatic images with him, but it's got that like, it just looks like nothing else, I don't think.
Yeah, it like toes that line between dramatic and silly at pretty much all times.
Yeah.
So he can lean it one way or another, and it always feels natural. It's something that I think it's a mark of a really good cartoonist, especially in this kind of book. I think that's something that like Eric Powell is really good at in his stuff. We talked about him earlier. He's able to do a very similar thing. I really love art styles that he can push it, like Rob Guillory can push it just that little bit and make it very silly and slapsticky. But he can also kind of lean it just the other way, and it still feels dramatic and like a natural evolution of everything that's happening rather than like forcing it, you know?
Yeah, and I really like that in this book he's able to marry that as well with writing this himself. So I'm still really happy with this book. Yeah.
Cool. I really do need to read it. This is like top of my list on stuff I'm not reading that I want to catch up on.
You should read Chew too. Just saying.
I know. I need to read Chew. That one's just that one's kind of long.
Yeah. Well, we just got the 4th volume of it, so yeah. There's a bit.
God, you've read a bunch of that. Wow.
What? Oh, I have only read 2 volumes. We have 4 because Samantha read the 3rd one and we got the 4th one. But
gotcha.
Yeah, it's there. So Doug, what's the book that you gotta talk about?
So this week we had the return, theoretically, of the Fantastic Four, or at least we had the return of a Fantastic Four titled series. We have Fantastic Four #1 from Dan Slott, Sarah Pacelli on art, and so we had. I'm not sure where to start with this one. So we've been reading Marvel 2-in-1, The Thing and Human Torch, which was written by Chip Zdarsky, art by a few different people. But it's been kind of following The Thing and Human Torch in kind of their adventures while they think that the rest of the Fantastic Four are missing, assumed dead. We start this issue with them. They're back on Earth. It's a little bit confusing. I assume this is taking place after the events of whenever
Marvel
they get back to Marvel 2-in-1, whenever they get back to Earth.
This is what I'm really mad at. Sorry. I got to talk about what I'm mad about with this book.
Okay.
Totally. Sorry. Just because of that fact right there of where it's taking place, I think it's a totally missed opportunity where what I thought, maybe I was thinking something wrong. I thought the Fantastic Four in this, at least at the beginning of this book, was going to be Reed, Sue, and their kids.
Oh, did you?
I thought that they were going to do something where they started the story with them being lost and trying to find their way back.
I think that would have been a better start.
Wouldn't it?
Specifically because... and
it takes away some of the Marvel 2-in-1 stuff.
Yes, it's specifically my feelings about how much we've been really liking Marvel 2-in-1 and how much this doesn't really fit with anything that series was building. In fact, it kind of redoes some plot points in it.
Oh yeah.
In a weird way, in a weird condensed way that we've already had done
much better.
This feels like a rehash of like the first few arcs of character development in specifically for Human Torch here in Marvel 2-in-1, in which like he's excited, he sees, oh, we can get the Fantastic Four back, and oh no, now I have this moment where, oh, they really are dead, aren't they? And it's like, we had that already over the course of like however many 8 issues or whatever we've had of Marvel 2-in-1, and that was so well done, that transition, and was done so organically and made you feel for him. And this felt like we're doing that again. Like, we had that character moment, and it was much more well explored.
Yeah.
And like, maybe he feels like he needs to kind of do a version of that in this in order to like set the stage for anybody who isn't reading that book. But like, give me a recap or something. Like, I don't like it. Don't retread that.
Yeah.
It feels like it almost feels like it's like retconning that book out, because like it doesn't make sense that he would have that twice.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. So, and then I don't know. It just made me think a lot about kind of like it. Marvel 2-in-1 felt almost like it was a book. It felt at its best when you kind of did go along with the characters and pretend that Reed and Sue and the kids are actually dead. And I love those characters. Don't get me wrong. I'm very excited to see them again. But like, the ways in which they were squeezing really good character stuff out of them in 2-in-1, and the ways in which they're setting up all this really interesting new story potential, specifically for Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
In him almost becoming kind of a member of a possibly new Fantastic Four. And then what they do with him in the like backup story in this book, which he's a villain again.
He's just a bad guy.
He's just bad. Guy. He's not even making like a villain turn. He's just...
It felt like the dumbest addition to the story. I'm sorry, this last part.
I don't understand. Like, it's just, I'm back in Latveria and I'm taking over again, and I guess I'm bad.
And I'm bad.
And like, it feels so out of touch with what's been happening with him lately. Like, it's not even like I've decided I'm not going to be good anymore. I'm going to be bad. It's just, he's just bad and is going back to what he was doing like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And like, not even 5 years ago, like 10 years ago, like Doctor Doom like has been slowly making the hero turn for a long time.
He's always been conflicted for a long time, right?
Yeah, like he was a big part of Hickman's Fantastic Four stuff and his FF stuff, and 2-in-1 kind of slash the other. I believe that was a Bendis thing, Infamous Iron Man, the series where he was kind of an Iron Man
analog
replacement.
Yeah.
Like, he's been making that hero turn for a while, and this feels like it's just throw all that in the trash, throw all that stuff in 2-in-1 in the trash, which is I was worried about, but I was excited for the return of the team. And coming away from this issue, I felt like if this issue as an issue had been so incredible that then I could have dealt with it not fitting with 2-in-1.
Yeah.
But I just feel like it's throwing away so much story potential, and I liked a bunch of bits of this issue, but like, I don't think it made me excited enough about what this book will be.
Yeah.
That I am okay with losing what we were building towards in 2-in-1.
Yeah. And even before that with Doom. Definitely. Yeah. This issue, tell me if you agree, this issue feels like what people were afraid of when Brian Michael Bendis started on Man of Steel.
Like what, that it was just like resetting and ignoring everything?
Yes.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like this feels like what, I don't know. it's like I was reading it, I was like, okay, I guess I can do this, but then just never did anything. And then it had Dr. Doom
I think
thing,
we
and I was
will.
like, what? Go
I
ahead.
think we will be able to like have a better feeling of like how we'll react to that a little bit more. And it's hard to say in this first issue, like because the team doesn't actually reunite.
Yeah.
I feel like we'll feel better about it next issue. But like specifically, we've had all this stuff with Thing and Human Torch. I think it definitely would have been a way better, more unique story point to, yes, start with Reed and Sue and the kids and follow their journey back.
And you can still call it the Fantastic Four because there's 4 of them. Like, why would, like, that's a slam dunk, I thought.
Yeah, but I mean, even without that, like, even if the 4 is still referring to Thing and Human Torch, like, if the book is, like, leading towards them reuniting, I think you can still call it that, regardless. But, like, I don't know, follow the other characters we haven't been following and give us something new and unique with them, and then reunite them, and I feel like that would have been more satisfying and different.
Even if it was like Reed and Sue telling the kids about a past adventure or something that has something to do with their current predicament, like, then you could even have the Fantastic Four in there, and it would still be within, like, it just, yeah.
I don't know. Like, I think I'll know better how I feel about it after the team actually gets reunited. They made a big point of saying in them, like in this silly one-pager back up in the end, saying like they will actually be reunited in the next issue, which I thought was unnecessary. But
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah. I love Reed Richards. I love Sue Storm. I love their kids. I've really grown to be attached to them reading Hickman's run. And like, I don't know. I've grown to have a very big issue with the constant, like, throw everything away and return to the old status quo. Bit in comics.
Even when you could have so much of a more interesting journey to the status quo. If you want the status quo, just give me a good journey to it. Like, this just, like, I'm just gonna say, this feels like a waste of $6. It was $6, and I did not like it.
You didn't like it, like, at all?
Like, it was fine, but it just gave me a lack of enjoyment, honestly. Like, No. I think I would have liked the series a lot better if 2 and 1 didn't exist, and this took place right when basically 2 and 1 started. Yeah. It would have made a lot more sense. It feels like that's when this is happening instead of that series, and I find that frustrating. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
I thought there was entertaining, fun stuff in it. I like the flashback stuff with Reed and Sue and the family. I thought
it was just a waste of time. Maybe I'm just in a sour mood just because of the whole concept of it being as a book, but I don't know. I just felt like it was dumb, the Donka Shane stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. Yep. I don't know. Yeah, we'll update, I guess, how I feel after the next issue, but and how we feel, but I didn't come away with this feeling really positive about this, and 2 and 1 is continuing, but Chip Zdarsky was just out there talking about how I think it might have been in the back of this. I don't remember where it was, but I was reading some interview with him where he was talking about like where I think it was just an interview online maybe, but about like the series is continuing. It's not going to be about Thing and Human Torch.
Okay. It's going to be about Cosmic Ghost Rider and Baby Thanos.
Marvel 2 and 1, Cosmic Ghost Rider, Baby Thanos.
I mean, that's basically what that book is anyways.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, I have a book that I got to talk about.
Sure.
And it's Superman. And I have a prepared statement for it.
Okay, you read your scroll that you're quickly unraveling right now?
Well, okay, this is the thing. I just watched the movie Welcome to Me with Kristen Wiig, which is a great movie, and you should watch it. I think I told you.
Okay.
And a part of it is she has... she plays a character with a mental disorder, and she does it really, really well. She portrays it very specifically, very well. And one of her like little quirks is that she'll, when she has something to say to someone, she's like, okay, well, I have a prepared statement for that. She just reads it off. It's really, really great. In any case, I have a prepared statement. I read this book first and came out of it thinking it was such an amazing issue. I went back to review what all went down and realized not much really happened.
Yeah,
not really. But there is so much drama drawn into the art that it makes me feel like everything has a crazy amount of weight to it. And I think the rating is great still, but the art is just making me so aroused in this book.
Sure.
I did write the word aroused. Because
I don't doubt that.
It's so, I don't know, like everything, and I'll give this caveats as well. Everything after the first page. When I open this book and I see that dumb inside cover ad and this page, I don't like this page for some reason. It just feels like it's very fake for some reason. I don't know what it is. But when you turn it and you get this first double page splash, it's just, there's so much depth drawn into every single page after that. And it's so, it's just so good, I think. And all these, like, different, like, when you're going through all the different problems that Superman solves with the big ship, with the big meteor, with the robbers and shit, and him introspecting and then looking at the Phantom Zone with the Earth in it, like, the writing and the art complement each other, I think, but the art more so complements, like, everything about this book. It just feels like there's so much depth and weight with every single thing that I felt like shit was going down every single second.
Yeah.
Then I read it again and I was like, oh, I guess not really much happened.
Yeah.
But,
if you want a big, epic feeling, important feeling, superhero comic book, Ivan Reis is the absolute best choice for that. He just imbues everything with this really, really intense sense of gravity and of drama, and everything feels important and everything feels big. And
for example, I have no idea who the fuck this guy that Rogue Lazar popped the head of is, but when he fucking popped his head, I was just like, holy shit.
He's Nuclear Man from Superman: The Quest for Peace, the movie.
Oh, I didn't watch that one. Is that the one with the whales?
I don't remember. I don't remember anything from this movie other than Nuclear Man. He's not a character who has existed in the comics before. They were making a big deal on Twitter a while back, or on social media, about like we're introducing Nuclear Man to the DC universe, and everyone was like,
no,
what? Why? Like, why? That movie's bad.
What number is that? 3 or what?
Let me look it up.
I think it's 3. Quest for Peace. I'm looking it up. It's okay.
Okay. Anyway, I'll keep talking. But so then
it is 4. So it's the one with the whales.
Big dramatic reveal of Nuclear Man's in the Phantom Zone with Rogue Lazar, and he just murders him immediately. Just smashes his head and drains him of life. He explodes with a big mushroom cloud.
Still, it felt like it's so intense and awesome that he did that. You know, it feels like, I don't know. Like, I literally read it first in my pile, and I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. I love this shit. And then when I went back to it, I was like, oh, weird. But it's such a good feeling to have. I don't know. This is one of those examples of, like, the art is, I don't know. I'd read this book for the art, I think. The writing's good.
Like, I think I really like what Bendis is doing with the world here, but like, I think Ivan Reis's art is definitely the biggest draw for me on this series. I think it's giving Superman just like this, I don't know, just this feeling of importance and weight that he hasn't had in a long time. Like this, it makes it feel like this is the most important book happening at DC, whether or not you like the story or not. I do like the story, but like it just, it feels important.
Yeah.
Also, I just really like the stuff they've been doing, like to position Superman as more of a kind of, and I feel like this is a thing that Bendis is bringing from his experiences at Marvel, because this feels like a more Marvel style thing to do. But like kind of, they've been kind of like having Superman interact with other characters in the DC universe outside of the like Superman corner a lot more in this book. Other Justice League members and like him being a member of the Justice League and stuff comes up a lot more in this Superman book than it does in a normal Superman book. Like he has friends, other superpowered friends, and of course he would go to them and talk to them and interact with them, and it feels very obvious thing to do, but like DC tends to be a little bit more siloed off in their characters. They tend to like Batman's in his little corner and Superman's in his little corner, and then we have the books where they all come together. But in their own books, they're kind of more separate. And that, I feel like, is in some ways a purposeful thing, but in other ways, that's just because that's how DC is. And Marvel is characters are more free to kind of interact with the universe as a whole. Yeah. And I think that it is kind of refreshing it feels to me like that is a thing that Bendis is bringing over just a little bit. And I like seeing, like, it just makes sense. Like, of course,
well, Superman, they're in the Phantom Zone.
Like,
why wouldn't he contact everybody? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it just it just feels very natural, and it makes the universe feel a little bit richer, like having him kind of like interact with those characters when it makes sense instead of ignoring them, you know? Yeah. Also, Barry Allen's hair is red in the end of this book, and I don't understand why.
Oh, because it's supposed to be blonde, isn't it?
Barry Allen is blonde, and Wally West is a redhead, and they call him Barry in this last scene, and his hair is red.
What if it's like, oh, no, never mind.
And it's very confusing because he says in one panel, I think I forgot which Flash I was for a second, because he's all confused, but then they were go out there basically admitting this was a coloring mistake this week, but it's confusing.
Wait, what if he did forget which Flash he was? What if he is actually?
But how would that make his hair change?
No, what if it is actually Wally?
They call him Barry,
but he's wearing his thing, so he looks like Barry. Maybe he wore it like that because he forgot what Flash he was.
But they do, like, he calls him Barry, and he says something about because I'm a scientist in a line at one point, which Wally is not. It's definitely Barry. It's weird. I don't get it.
Weird. Okay, well.
But, yeah, I still really enjoying this series.
Yeah. No, very much so. Can you tell me, did you get this ad at the end with Mr. Miracle? No trap can hold him. Escape God. World tour.
Yeah, it's a t-shirt, looks like.
Why does it say it's a world tour? September 12th, 2018. There has to be something on September 12th, 2018, right?
Is that an issue? What issue are we on in Mr. Miracle?
Oh, 11. You're right. Maybe that's an issue.
Maybe is 11 the next one, or is 12 the next one?
11 is the next one. We just read 10.
So it's not even the last issue, if that's the day it comes out. I have no idea. Anyways, I mean, it's just supposed to look like I don't know, like it's an event. Like you're going to see Mr. Miracle in concert.
Because it says
like a show. I mean, like, it's like you're going to see a magician show or something, and you got a.
No, I know, but it got me excited because, sometimes they have weird, like, cool special events like that in LA.
Sure.
So I, like, looked up, I was like, oh my god, is there going to be something cool in LA? Like, I can actually go to? And it got me really excited, and I'm mad at them now.
I would get this if it was a poster. I think it's cool.
Except it would remind me of it. I would have to, like, fabricate a reality where an event like that happened, and Mr. Miracle, like, or like maybe it was Tom King, like, did some weird thing. I don't know.
I like this idea that Tom King dresses up as Mr. Miracle and goes up on a stage and does a magic show. He does an escape show, but he's not Mr. Miracle, so he can't actually escape from any of this stuff. And it's just Tom King. And it's just like this
like every time.
Random, not dying, but like struggling to get out of handcuffs and stuff.
And then, like, the stage manager comes out on stage and he's like, okay, we have to stop the show again. It happens all the time.
Although he was a CIA operative, so maybe he can escape from some handcuffs.
He probably can, right?
I have no idea how much of an actual like spy he was.
Yeah.
I think he just worked for the CIA. Although he did talk about like he did go places undercover. He said,
What if he was like IT?
Yeah, I have no idea what his actual role was, but he was some sort of intelligence operative.
Okay. Well, Doug, we had panels of the week. Let's talk about them. I'm doing mine first. So,
okay.
What?
Go ahead.
Okay. Not to get so jittery. What is that? Your coffee buzz? Okay, sorry. My panel of the week is a page, and I guess it's kind of a sequence. It's a page.
Is it?
I mean,
remind me where this is later in the issue. When does this happen?
So this is like literally, actually, exactly halfway through the issue. It's where the staples are visible.
Yep.
So
middle page.
What you got there?
Yep.
So this, I just thought that this. Okay, I really love this entire issue. I think this issue is what I've been waiting for with Cars and Rick Remender and action.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And getting away. And I think this moment is the climax of the whole thing. I love that it's built to this, and that this is like a big like a huge image. And I think this is the moment where the art like complements Rick Remender's style the best. I love that it's got so much intensity and kinetic energy in it. I think that when you like have the big image, you look at the climax and then you move your eyes down. I think it's laid out in a really, really cool way. And I don't know. I don't know how else to talk about it, actually.
So what specifically is happening in this panel here?
Okay, sorry. You're right. So Glory, the driver, is running away from this place. They have this guy under the car, which, just a little side note, that is absurd, and this is the most ridiculous part.
It's ridiculous.
I don't like about this issue, but whatever.
I like half love it and half hate it. It's
he
like
dies, but whatever.
It's funny. It's funny and ridiculous as like an action set piece thing. Like it feels like an almost like Edgar Wrighty kind of move, but also it doesn't make any goddamn sense. This man would be so dead.
So
scraped along the ground for miles and miles and miles. It like the car flies up in the air and lands, and it doesn't.
But hey, you know what? Maybe that's the benefits of comics. So we don't have to draw him being crushed. But in any case, this is a moment where Glory is ramming this guy because he's been shooting at them, and this guy is the one who, I guess, took the nun people captive and has raised them, but also protects them. So it's kind of a unhealthy relationship.
He's sort of like their weird adoptive father. They have a little flashback in this issue showing kind of like how he I think he like killed their abusive father basically. Yeah. And then sort of adopted them. But anyways,
became a different abusive father.
Yeah, he's not like the boss, I don't think, or is he the boss? Is he the mom? Is he the boss of this gang?
I think he's the boss.
Okay. All right. I've been on, but I do think that there is a bigger climax coming in terms of Glory and her ex-husband.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Coming, who I assume he's going to be taking charge after this, because there's more emotional baggage there. But up until this point, yes, this is definitely like a big turning point. A big climax of the action that we've had so far. She rams into him, and he just splatters.
He gets split in half, literally, we see on the...
Organs flying out, yeah.
Yeah, so I thought that this moment was really, like, a great, like, moment to show the art complimenting his writing style in general, Rick Remender. So I really think this is a great thing for great idea for moments to come. Yep. And that's about my whole thought on it. I really loved it.
Yeah. Now that we've gotten to this point in the story, I definitely understand now. I Bengal as the artist. Like I liked his art before. Yeah. But like, he just draws the shit out of these car action sequences.
Yes.
Like, this old I don't know anything about cars, but this old like muscle car looking car, like swerving around corners, and like you feel the weight of it. Like he really seems to understand the physics of cars and how they move.
Yes.
And it feels like this really intense action chase scene in a way that like comic books oftentimes aren't really able to pull off. It just looks like here's two cars driving, you know, but like they do like choreographed action sequences in this issue, and you understand exactly what's happening at every time. And they do fancy like cars swerving and spinning out and turning around and driving in all sorts of different directions, and it always makes sense and feels really bombastic and tense and really fun.
Yeah.
Like
I really liked last issue of this, and now this is kind of what I was waiting for, I think.
Yeah. this is what all of that stuff has been build and context to make this what feels to be the purpose of this series.
Yeah.
Like the center point of this series, this like vehicular action stuff, give it context and make it feel the amount of like intense and like importance that it needs. Yeah.
Also, can you tell me, so with these non-dressed chicks and this dude, one of them is blind and one of them is mute. So is the guy deaf?
I don't know that there's anything to... He's talking on the phone and stuff.
I was wondering like if there was like a see no evil, hear no evil.
One of them is mute?
Yeah, one of them's mute. He says, you mute, tell me you're mute, whatever, because she can't say anything like which way they went because she's mute. She has a gun pointed at her. Come on, where'd they go? Where did they run, you mute freak? That said the guy who freezes people.
I don't know that I gathered that. I guess I just didn't notice that one of them was never speaking. I don't think I realized only one of them was blind until this issue. But that, yeah.
Yeah, well, like,
that
the
sense.
one that was in the fireplace is blind because she's trying to, like, see where, like, trying to hear where they are. And then the other one has a gun pointed on them, but she didn't shoot because I think she remembered her, like, kind of past, I guess.
Yep. Rick Remender is having a lot of fun coming up with like ridiculous conceptual henchman characters in this book.
Definitely.
We've got two weird like I don't know what they're supposed to be, like weird Quaker nuns or something. I don't know, where one is blind and one is mute, and they're like running around with guns.
Yeah,
and then we got this dude with the like liquid nitrogen gun who's like freezing stuff, and he's got one arm and one eye, and God, it's all ridiculous, and I love it.
Wonderful. Okay, but yeah, that's me, Doug. Let's talk about you.
Yeah, so we're gonna take a little backtrack here, back to Eternity Girl again.
And
let
me get a word, by the way, in general before you go into this. What did you think of the tie-up, the ending of this?
I thought it. I liked this issue more than I've liked a lot of the recent issues. I will say I like pretty much everything this series does, like from a craft and stylistic standpoint. I just feel like I don't have much of a like an anchor to what's. I feel like I understood more the metaphor they're making and the points about identity and stuff they're making a little bit more after this issue, or a lot more. Like it felt like it kind of brought it a little bit more full circle. But I don't know. I appreciate this series. I personally just don't have much of a reaction to the actual events of it. However, it is full of really great. All these issues have been full of really great, technically produced sequences and really inventive storytelling stuff.
Yeah.
And the one that stood out to me this week in my favorite panels of the week is this sequence where Danielle, the psychiatrist friend, who We get some implications in this issue that she is a trans woman, which is something that we didn't know before.
Yeah.
And which I think definitely ties into the meanings of this book.
Oh, hell yeah.
And especially knowing, and I mean, I assumed that those kind of connections for a while. If you, I don't know if you know much about Magdalene Versaggio outside of this book. I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. But she's very open about she is a trans woman. So I think that definitely is a big theme or like metaphorical kind of explorations of that. And about like creating your own identity and
Definitely.
Feelings of identity are a big part of this series. But that's new information here, and that character goes into this weird, trippy space room. I don't really know what it is in this issue, but the way it's portrayed is really, really unique. So she goes into this room, and everything splits apart into tons and tons and tons of little panels of her in various universes or identities or versions of this universe, in which she's all these different kinds of people. She's a cowboy, she's a punk, she's a superhero, she's a soldier, all these different things. Specifically, the page I really like is the second page of that sequence, where it's just tons and tons and tons of those panels, and you follow her through this space where one panel in each of these rows is the normal, or like the universe we've been following, the version prime of her. Yeah, the prime version of Danielle. And she is saying a thing. She has a word bubble. She says, they're all me. And then in all the other panels next to her in either direction, they're all repeating like the last word or sounds of what she says. Yeah. They all say me, 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 me. And you can feel the like echo feeling of that. Of
yes.
Like trailing off. And I like how they do in some of these panels. She says it's like touching ice water. And instead of it just being water, they all say swatter, swatter, swatter. So they're like, it's just, you get that sense that it's the sound, that it's this echo. And they're all kind of like interacting. There's panels where she's like touching her, reaching out to her shoulder in like this infinitely recursive kind of pattern. And I just don't know that I've ever seen a page that was exactly like this. And I don't know what it means at the end here when there's only one of these things where the normal universe version of her doesn't say anything and all the echoes say last chance.
Yeah. I
don't know what that means, but it's cool.
I'm trying to get there. This is the last page.
It's not the last page of the book. It's just before this ad for the Meg.
The Meg.
It's a few pages in. It's not very far into the book.
Oh.
There's 2 pages with this kind of layout, and it's the second one.
Okay.
So there's one where she walks into this space, and then like the whole thing is kind of a single sequence, but I like the second page of it.
Okay. I'm trying to what you said last chance. Where is
it's
last
the very
chance. Last chance.
Everyone but her is saying it. Whereas they're echoing what she says in the other ones.
I think it's her. She's trying to solve this issue for. I think the real one. That's the last chance, and all the other ones have already done this. Maybe.
I think it's more like maybe like that's like a subconscious thing. Like there's all these versions of her that are saying that, but she doesn't want to say it.
Yeah. Okay. I can see that.
Maybe that's an interpretation. Yeah, I think it's a really unique page. I think it really, it makes some of the, especially considering the new information about this character, it like really displays some of the like exploration of identities and potential identities for people, in a really interesting visual way that I think this series is really good at finding really unique visual ways to display all this stuff. I think Sonny Liu is just, he's drawn the shit out of this book. I really appreciate all that, those kind of technical things in this book.
Yeah, I feel that. No, I definitely agree. I was confused because I thought you were talking about the Last Chance thing on a different thing. I didn't realize that was part of this page. Yeah, that's, I don't know what else to add to it. I completely agree.
Yeah. And I do like the way in which they wrapped this up.
Mm-hmm.
I said this before, but I think, I definitely came away with a better understanding of like what the series was saying,
mm-hmm.
and kind of what its purpose was.
Yeah.
It's like it's a little bit trippy for me in terms of like wrapping my head around like the events of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I liked that this stuff, at least in the context of the story here, wasn't just treated like a hallucination in the end.
Yeah.
That it did have impact on the story, that like those worlds kind of collided.
Mm-hmm. And then we also get good news at the backpack of this issue.
Yes, the backpack.
Finally, Doom Patrol is returning. So that. I'm so excited. The backpack.
Yeah,
the very back.
When does it, I don't think they say when.
They don't say when
Doom Patrol is coming out, but we talked recently about how it's going to be a different artist on Doom Patrol issue 12 instead of Nick Darrington, but apparently it is a one-off kind of palette cleanser between arcs, which is news to me that book is continuing. There's at least going to be another arc, which I think is exciting. It sounds like they're like front-loading making all those issues so that they can release them at a timely pace once they're done.
Yeah.
Which I think is a good thing for a book that suffers from a lot of delays.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Doug, let's talk about what we got next week. Let me get up my list here. We got a lot of Image books, for me at least. Mm-hmm. I don't know about you. So we both have Gideon Falls, Ice Cream Man, Magic Order, DC book, which is Justice League. And then I'm reading Skyward, which you should read. That's coming out next week. Are you going to get Tony Stark Iron Man?
I'm going to get it, I think, purely based on the fact that Machine Man seems like he's going to be a big part of it.
Oh, yeah, Machine Man. I'll get it, but they're on thin ice. If this one's not... If
they
this
are
one doesn't
very much on thin ice.
If this doesn't impress me, I'm dropping, definitely.
Yeah. I was feeling like I was going to drop it after this last issue. I'm getting it basically purely on the fact that Machine Man is on the cover, and if they don't really impress me, I'm going to drop that book. It's like just... I don't know, floaty enough, like not important feeling enough that like, I don't know, I could just do without it.
I feel that.
But,
then I'm also going to flip through Pearl from DC.
Yeah.
Bendis.
We've got a few upcoming new Bendis books in his like, his Jinx World imprint coming up. We've got Pearl this next week. We've got Cover coming up not too long from now. Mm-hmm. Beginning of next month. I'll definitely flip through Pearl. I'm not decided if I'm going to pick it up.
And I'm thinking about, have you heard of Crowded?
I don't know what that is.
Okay, so it's by Christopher Sabella, who's the guy that does, what is it, Shanghai Red, I think?
Okay.
Is what I'm reading by him. Have you heard about him in general, though?
I know his name. I'm not really familiar with his stuff.
Let me just...
Is it an Image book? I'm trying to find it.
It's an Image book. Let me just tell you what the thing. So... 10 minutes into the future, the world runs on an economy of job shares and apps, including Reaper, a crowdfunding platform to fund assassinations. Charlie Ellison leads a quiet, normal life until she's suddenly targeted by $1 million Reaper campaign. Hunted by all of Los Angeles, Charlie hires Vita, the lowest-rated bodyguard on the Defend app. As the campaign's picks up speed, they have to figure out who is doing it. And hopefully she doesn't die within the campaign's 30 days. I just think it sounds like a really cool idea, and I'm gonna at least flip through to see if I like the art.
I'm always skeptical when stories do really big things with social media stuff.
Yeah, because it can get really annoying at some point.
It can get very annoying and sometimes very heavy-handed, and sometimes if it's not done by someone who's really plugged into that kind of environment, it can come off as fakey.
It'll get the we got 1 million hits in an hour treatment.
God. Anyways, yeah, that sounds interesting. I think I'll let you tell me how that is.
I will do that. But I'll do that for you.
To see if there's anything else I'm picking up
shit.
that you're not.
I might. So I recently got all of the things to catch up to Baby Teeth by Donny Cates. And number 12 is actually coming out next week. So I need to remember to do that. So I'm actually probably going to get that next week.
How many? So you're going to try to read all 11 issues before next week?
I've read 5.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can do that then.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
But yeah, so that's I think that's going to about do it for this week. That's fun. If you made it this far, I hope you did. I mean, we could just be yelling into the wood with this section. I don't know. Because, people might think that this is just the same every single time, that we don't add our own little quirks in this little after section. You know?
Yeah, some people might just turn off the show after we talk about our books.
What if they turn it off after we talk about the character? What if they're, only do it for the characters each week?
Everyone's here just for that good Mr. Mind content.
We should put that at the end. No, we shouldn't. So thank you, everybody, for listening so much. Sorry, we're a new podcast. The biggest thing you can do for us, though, is if you like the show, give us a review, star rating on iTunes, because it's fun. And if you enjoyed what you heard, let someone know about us with your mouth or with your mouse. We release episodes weekly on Sundays, so be sure to check back next week, or you can subscribe and not have to think about it.
You can do that on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, Overcast. I thought we were on Google Play Music. We were a while ago, and then this week I tried looking for us to get a link, and I could not find us. So,
what? We're on Google Play. I listen to Google Play every week.
Oh, so that's where you listen to it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I can't find it for some reason. I searched Comics Covered on Google Play.
You have to scroll down.
It's not. It doesn't.
The first thing that comes up is radio stations, and then videos, and then podcasts at the bottom when you search it. So it comes
Mine
up.
does not give me any of that. But okay. Anyways, I'll figure it out. But,
okay.
I need to be better about, someone pointed out to me this week that I need to be better about when we do our little posts every week, giving links to the other versions of the show. So I'm going to try to include at least like a Stitcher or a Google Play link.
Someone sends a message or something?
Posts. I posted a link to it on League of Comic Geeks, the social space on there, and someone was like, "Could you please give me a non-Apple link?" And I'm like,
cool, yeah, because I mean, Apple's kind of whatever, I
mean, well, I just assumed it was fine for most people because Apple Podcasts is the most widely used app, whether you like it or not. But I think it would be helpful for other people not using that to have a way to listen to it.
At least
just on Libsyn, if nothing else.
Thank you, random sir, for that suggestion. Or ma'am, who knows?
Yeah, whoever you are. In the meantime, before next week's episode, on next Sunday, you can find us on Twitter or Facebook under the handle @ComicsCovered. We made a Reddit account a long time ago and haven't been using it at all.
We just started using it though.
This last week we started posting some stuff on there. If anyone's interested to check that out, we post some panels and stuff, and
it's great.
Good way to talk to us.
You've done really well thus far, Doug. And just so everyone knows, I scared Doug. It was great.
God, don't do that. No.
I gave our Comics Covered account a private message from my personal Reddit account that said very bad things and that we're going to troll everything. And Doug blocked me, so I'm officially blocked from our account.
But I don't want to get doxxed or something. I thought this was some rando who was gonna internet stalk us.
Yeah,
it's what it sounded like. Anyways.
Oh, by the way, whichever podcast app you prefer, we got you Cupboard.
Cupboard. Comics in the Cupboard.
Yes.
God, that would have been a good name. So you can find web archives of all of our episodes at comicscover.libsyn.com. That's LIBSYN. And on Facebook or YouTube, we post versions of that on there as well. We've got those up there. If you want to get a hold of us with a question or feedback, send us a message on Facebook or Twitter, or send us a message on our Reddit page that we just started using again.
Yeah.
Or user, I guess, not page. Yeah, so those are good ways to get a hold of us. Maybe we'll answer you on a future episode. Thanks again for listening to the show. I'm Doug.
I am H2O, and this has been Comics Cupboard.
Okay, bye-bye.